There are child actors who excel in their performances so well, it's difficult to see them as anything past a character. That can be said about Camille Winbush, who stole audiences' hearts for 5 seasons as the niece of comedian Bernie Mac on The Bernie Mac Show. Winbush brought a fresh look to what growing up as a black girl can look like. The show details the complexities of life growing up in a black household, as well as touching on some important life issues, such as the crack epidemic, the importance of having a father figure, double standards with raising boys versus girls, along with other real-life issues. The dynamic between Bernie Mac and Camille Winbush's characters, Vanessa, plays an important role in highlighting a perspective of a father-daughter relationship. This dynamic was important for the audience, who Bernie Mac referred to as America, to see. Vanessa starts off the show very misunderstood and seen as disrespectful and mean, but as the show developed, we start to see the layers behind the character. Vanessa represented millions of black girls in an authentic and sensible way for 5 seasons of a hit show for the entire world to see, which is why Camille Winbush will always be unforgotten. Born on February 9, 1990 in Culver City, California, Camille Winbush was discovered by a talent agency at the age of 2 while attending a talent show for her cousin. The talent scouts thought she was adorable and wanted to know if she could sing. She sang one of Doris Day's hit songs, Que Sera Sera. Needless to say, the talent agency was impressed enough to sign her on the spot. Her acting career wouldn't begin until 2 years later, when she landed a small role in the late 90s series Viper as the character Lucy Wilkes for 3 episodes. Now, the following year, she received her first main role in the NBC sitcom Minor Adjustment, starring opposite of Rondell Sheridan. Winbush played the 4-year-old daughter of the two. Unfortunately, however, the show would only run for 1 season and was canceled after 20 episodes. More opportunities started to come for the young actress, as she played a recurring character in the drama series Seventh Heaven, while lending her voice to the Disney animated series Recess, where she was also a recurring character. In addition to these notable projects, Winbush also had guest roles in Hanging with Mr. Cooper, NYPD Blue, Norm, Strong Medicine, and ER, among several others. Winbush's biggest role wouldn't come until she booked her role as Vanessa Tompkins on The Bernie Mac Show. She was only 10 years old at the time, and she was playing the role of a teenager. In an interview on the James Kickback podcast, Camille detailed what it was like meeting Bernie Mac for the first time and their time on set. When I first auditioned for the show, I was too young to know who Bernie Mac was at the time. I was only 10 years old when I auditioned for it, so I hadn't seen The Kings of Comedy or any of that stuff. I was still too young to have seen any of his comedy. But before I went to the audition, my parents showed me a clip of his stand-up. You know, the milk and cookies routine? So I was able to get an idea of who he was as a comedian and a person, and I kept that in my mind when I went to my audition. And as the process went further, I was able to meet him and we got to vibe off each other, and it just felt so natural. In 2016, Winbush was interviewed for the Big Scoop podcast and was asked to describe her character, Vanessa, in comparison with her real-life personality. She is probably the total opposite of me. For the most part, she's nothing like me. She's angry and she's been through so much at a young age. She had a hard childhood. She's mouthy. I'm very careful. I watch what I say around certain people, and she doesn't care. Vanessa just says whatever to whoever. Winbush also went on to touch on how Bernie Mac was able to bring the cast together and make everyone feel welcomed on set. There were so many behind-the-scenes moments, Bernie just sitting around and basically doing a comedy routine for the cast and crew. And then every day at lunch, he would order these big family-style meals and invite everybody up to his dressing room. And that just showed how warm and welcoming he was. He didn't care. You could be a cameraman or a leading actress, and he would break bread with anybody. So that was always really special to me. Now, the Bernie Mac Show would run for 5 seasons and was a huge success. Changes with production and time slots caused the show to decline in viewing for the latter 3 seasons. But the show was and still a TV classic in the eyes of many viewers, and with reruns and streaming services, the show is still very popular amongst modern-day comedy fans. The show will go on to win 3 consecutive NAACP Image Awards for Outstanding Comedy Series, but Camille will take home 3 consecutive NAACP Image Awards herself for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series, as well as a Young Artist Award for Best Performance in a TV Series, Comedy, or Drama. Winbush was asked if she still keeps in touch with anyone from the cast, particularly Jeremy Suarez or Dee Dee Davis, who portrayed her on-screen siblings, Jordan and Brianna. Winbush would let fans know that although they don't see each other as much, they do still keep in touch. During the Big Scoop podcast interview, she was going to reveal that Davis currently lives in Chicago, and she had just seen Kalita Smith, who played her Aunt Wanda, on the show. Now, since the ending of the Bernie Mac show in 2006, rumors of a reunion have been circulating. In June 2018, Winbush, along with Kalita Smith, Dee Dee Davis, and Jeremy Suarez, got together for a mini reunion in Los Angeles. Davis shared a photo online and said, "Wow, it's been 10 years since we've been together like this. I just want to say yesterday was a blessing, and I'm thankful that we're all able to reconnect like nothing changed. Love you guys." Winbush would go on to post a picture of her own and caption, "Up to something." Unfortunately, since those reunion pictures were posted back in 2018 and 2019, no footage has debuted from their meeting. Some fans were excited to see the kids together with their Aunt Wanda and hoped for a reunion special, while other fans noted that there would be no way to properly bring the show back without Bernie Mac himself. After the Bernie Mac show, Winbush would go on to play in several more TV and film projects, including the critically acclaimed TV series The Secret Life of the American Teenager as Lauren Tracy, who was one of the best friends to one of the lead characters, Amy Jargens, as well as Madison Cooperstein. She plays the more rational and grounded one of the trio. After that role, however, her acting career did start to decline. She was able to book smaller roles here and there, including guest roles on Criminal Minds and Grey's Anatomy. Unfortunately, as we all know, Bernie Mac passed on August 9th, 2008, a little more than 2 years after the sitcom ended. The entire cast and I are still somewhat in shock about the whole thing. It hasn't quite set in for me that he's not with us anymore. But his spirit lives on through us, through the show and all of his work. I was speechless when I found out, and I still sort of am. It hasn't hit me completely. He was so down to earth, considering who he is and who he's worked with and the amount of work he's done. You'd think he'd be the typical Hollywood star, but he wasn't. He'd have lunch with you, would call on birthdays, and remember all that kind of stuff. I appreciated that about him, that I could talk to him about anything and felt comfortable around him. He was like another uncle to me. Now, many don't know that soon after the Bernie Mac show, the Fox network began developing another sitcom around Bernie. The series was going to be titled Starting Under, and according to MovieWeb, it would have followed Bernie Mac as an opinionated man who just found himself getting divorced and living with his 20-something-year-old son. Winbush revealed that Mac had invited her to the set of his new show, and that would be the last time she saw him alive. He invited me to check it out. I'm not sure what happened with it, but that was the last time I saw him. For many, Camille would go off the mainstream radar and wouldn't resurface until the top of 2021 with her announcement that she'd be launching an OnlyFans account. Camille has since went on to clear up the false allegations about posting nudity on her OnlyFans with a post on her Instagram reading, "Yes, you heard it right. I've joined OnlyFans, but I'm doing it my way. I'll be saying the things I really want to say, singing and dancing, and sharing exclusive content my way, minimal nudity. So if that's what you're expecting, sorry, not sorry to disappoint." The post was met with mixed reactions. Several were supportive of Winbush's new venture and were excited to see a new side of her, while others weren't so supportive, condemning and chastising Winbush for joining the platform that is mostly known for suggestive content. Shortly after her announcement, Winbush took to social media again to address the negative comments. "So let me be clear, I am not broke or desperate for money. Bernie, God rest his soul, is not turning over in his grave. Stop saying that. Even if meant as a joke, it is far from funny. I do not need to call Tyler Perry for a job. I'm not spending thousands of dollars on school to get a degree so that I can get a real job, whatever that means. I will not now or ever be doing porn. Working in Hollywood has never been my end game. I made an OnlyFans because I wanted to, not out of necessity." Winbush was asked why she thought she received such a negative response to joining OnlyFans. She would go on to say, "I think that people have a perception of me and who they think I am or who they want me to be. When I break out of that box, people are like, whoa, what's happening? Stay where you are. We don't like this. I think that's because the Bernie Mac show is still running. People still see me as this 14-year-old girl. So when I announce that I'm 31 years old, literally a grown woman, I just want to show different sides of me. People are not willing to get out of their own heads." As a guest on the James Kickback podcast in 2021, Winbush revealed that she was in school taking interior design classes in March 2020 when the coronavirus pandemic forced the shutdown of the entire world. Wimbush said that she was planning on making interior design her new career path. I'm still in the acting world, so I'm auditioning and hopefully I will find a project that really speaks to me because I'm at the age and the point in my career where I don't want to work for the sake of working. I want to do projects that really speak to me and I'm really excited about. She also expressed her desire to get behind the camera as well and even write scripts. Wimbush seems to keep most of the details of her family life private. However, she has shared pictures of both her mother and father on her own social media from time to time. According to IMDb, Wimbush has an older brother who is also an actor in the industry. His name is Troy Wimbush, and his breakthrough role was Denny in The Cosby Show between 1987 and 1991. Like his sister, Troy Wimbush has had a steady career in Hollywood with roles on Sister Sister, In the House, The Parkers, Girlfriends, House of Pain, and many more. He can be seen as a recurring character for the series The Winds and The Goldbergs. Now, as far as Camille, she was also scheduled to start her own podcast with Ashley Monique Clark, another child actor, mostly known for her role as Sydney, D.L. Hughley's daughter in The Hughleys. Unfortunately, however, it doesn't appear that the podcast ever got off the ground, as the only media available for the podcast is a 2-minute trailer that was revealed in November of 2020. Camille Wimbush has been able to entertain audiences since the age of 2, as well as representing dark-skinned actresses in a very reputable way. Her role on the iconic Bernie Mac show still holds its weight today. The way she challenged her Uncle Bernie, as well as their back and forth on the show, still resonates in the hearts of many comedy fans today, which is why Camille Wimbush will always remain unforgotten.